Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to Lunch with Joy. Today we are going to talk about something different, and I'm going to start with first waving my wand over the entire audience so that you will understand and see and get everything we're coming up with. What we're talking about is how to get your audience's attention, hook them, and keep them. Just waving one is not something that's going to hook them and keep them. However, it's something different, and it will get someone's attention, particularly if I just leave it sit here and let all the cute little sparkles fly through there. I love blue. Blue is probably my favorite color. Blue and purple. But that's what we're talking about today. We need to know it's a speaking skill, and it is a professional speaking skill that I've learned over the years because I've been speaking professionally for a long time. We're going, yeah, it's about, holy moly, this year's 40 years. I've been speaking professionally for 40 years. So I've learned a few things. I've had some unbelievable teachers. And you can use the same types of techniques when you are talking to your audience, when you're talking to your client. Oh, naturally, you don't want to work for me. You don't want to give me what I'm wanting. There we go. Now maybe I can see, but no, it is not. Yes, it will. We're going to start with, I'm just going to start with a quickie, if I can get it to work. It doesn't want to work. It's called, why is it not working? We're going to go up here and guess what? I'm going to give up on this one. I will show you this tomorrow because I'm going to continue with these tomorrow. I'm showing you the secrets, and they're actually my basic secrets. These are just the base secrets. I've got 6 of them, and I only have the slides and the presentations up for a few of them, and for the first half of the slide. Mouth just didn't want to come apart. I've only got slides for half of them, and they don't want to come up. I click the button, and they're not showing me. So I guess we have to just understand that periodically errors happen, and how we deal with it is what makes it work or not work. If I get upset here and say, oh my goodness, this is horrible, and it's going to make you not comfortable. And for me, guess what? It doesn't make a bit of difference. It would have been very nice to have brought it up and just clicked and done what the computer was supposed to do. But technology doesn't always work, so we will look at that tomorrow. I will show you the slides that I had originally planned to have you be able to see, but that's tomorrow now. Today, we're just going to keep on going. One of the biggest problems that we have with an audience, I've heard people say your audience has the attention span of a fly or something else. I think it's a gnat. It's something very tiny because the attention span is very tiny. It's maybe that quick. And if you don't grab the attention, which I didn't do here in this video, so I'm showing you what you don't want to do. You need to make a change. You need to know how to get the attention of the audience. That's one of the reasons that I frequently start with a statistic. Statistics that are shocking will, whoa, oh my goodness, what is this about? I want to know more, because What's she talking about? What is that? What does that mean? What's that going to tell me? And if it's at all in an area that the person's looking to be involved with, then it's going to be of interest. So that's what you need to be able to do when you're talking to a prospect. When you're talking to a prospect, if I come and tell you that everything is fine, the world is great, nothing's happening, but I want you to listen to this so you can buy whatever it is. They stopped hearing after you said the word nothing. If you had come out and said, did you know that by 2026, over 90% of the world is going to be working on AI? I don't know the exact number, but it's 25, 26. It's in the 90s. So I just said 90%, and I don't have the statistic in front of me, so I can't quote it. But I know it's such a high number. And 2025, that's 2 months and 2 weeks away. That's a very, very short time. And it's telling us if you're not using the internet and not using AI, you are going to be in trouble. You're going to have trouble. You're going to have problems. And you need to make sure that you do what needs to be done. I created a wonderful slide for you because my package of keeping the attention, I took the word engage and I made that into an anagram. That is an anagram. The first E stands for emotion. And we know that we have got to get the emotional attention of our prospect. If they aren't with us emotionally, they're not going to buy. Because emotions buy, facts sell. That I've heard that for so many years, and it is so true. You need to be able to touch and get a hold of that emotion. Novelty is the M. E is emotion, N is novelty. And novelty, and I always have my wand here. I can always grab my wand. It's always right, almost always right next to me, as long if I'm in my office or in the studio. So I am ready to pull the wand out, and it's just a funny thing. People look at it and say, "Huh, okay, yes, I got it at a magic shop." What can I say? That's what it is. The G is for gamification. We need to turn everything into a game. To get people involved, they want to be able to play the game. One of the original ones that was brought to me that taught me about gamification was the computer. When the DOS computers came out, they came out with all these games. And our cell phones now still have gazillion games. But the games are there to get people used to using the new technology so that they know that it's not going to break on them. And if it doesn't break, then they can keep playing with it. And the reason that they gave you the games is you get playing the games, and once you've got the games going, then you can start into the real work, what's going on. And that's what it's all about. See, one of my clients, she came up, she thinks a lot in games. And so she came up, I can't even remember what it was now, so I'll give you the one that I did. I had written a newsletter for a client, and we put in there a gamification on it to get everyone involved to create a name for the newsletter, to come up with a name. And the person that won was going to get whatever, I think a t-shirt or something. And so that makes people want to play because there's a reward coming, and they will input and give you the good stuff. So that's why the gamification. Authenticity. You need to be able to use the quotes and the statistics that I'll tend to use, because that gives you the credibility. It's not you saying it, it is some other person that is been published and it has been researched and everybody agrees with something that is already printed. So you can quote yourself in something that's printed, which is good, but it's not as good as when you quote somebody else. Because it's not your words when you're quoting someone else, it's someone else's words, and they are agreeing with you and doing what you're saying what you want. And the G, I played with the G. I made it good storytelling. Storytelling is this next one, but story doesn't start with a G, so I made it good storytelling. You need to be able to tell stories. You hear me telling stories all the time. I do a lot with storytelling. That is what people want to. That's what people want to hear. You go all the way back to Aesop's fables, and that was one of the original beginning storytelling for the children. And the children would listen and pay attention. We are the same way. When we listen to somebody, if they're telling a story, we want to hear what's going to be the end, what's going on. Pardon me. And the last E is experiential learning. It is that ability to learn and see the experience. They want to experience, they want to feel and know and be able to see that something is going to be of benefit to them. Because we all know that it's all about what's in it for me. Our prospects don't want to care. They don't care a bit about us. It's what's in it for me. And they are the me. Not me, but you are the me. So you need to make sure that you can give them the stories that are going to bring the experience into what they are going to be getting and doing and how they're going to be using your product or service. So it's a basic, simple process. It's just to engage the client, and you want to use emotion, novelty, gamification, authenticity, good storytelling, and experiential learning. And so that's the overall what we're doing and why we're doing it. Let's now go to my first secret. And you gotta promise you're not going to tell everybody about this. Please promise me that. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's something that I have just added back into, and you working with the AI, it's part of how I generally talk, but I'm now pushing AI to use neuroscience more. Neurolinguistic programming, it brings in that emotion, and that's why it goes with the first E. It's the emotion. The neurolinguistic programming, it sets you up in a way that you are telling a story that people are going to be listening to, and it's going to get to their emotional core. And that's the reason that we'll start with something like that. Or the shock. That's an emotional. Oh my goodness, the statistic, the whole world is going to be on using AI in less than a year. Oh my goodness! From a year, between one and 2 years, everybody's going to be on AI, probably. And it's people look at you and, oh, what's going on? Why is that? And so you can do whatever is going to shock or create a craziness. One of the things that you could do is a definite change of atmosphere, change of everything. You stand up and you just stand there and look at your audience for 30 seconds to a minute. Everybody becomes uncomfortable. And they say, the psychologists have said for years, the first person to break that silence, they're going to buy whatever's being sold. And when two people are talking, there is always something being sold. It may be the date that you want to go on tonight, or it could be what you want for dinner, or just anything else, or it could be the product or service that you're working on selling. And so you need to know that what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and why it's going to happen. And use that to your best advantage. Most people are scared to death of silence. They do the and all kinds of filler words end up going in there because people are afraid of that silence. You can just take a breath, or like I grabbed my water and took a drink of water. You can do that, and that it's okay. The void does not have to be 100% full. It's okay to leave it just sitting there. So go ahead and do it. Don't worry about it. And our brains are just wanting, give me something new, give me something novel, give me something that I can think about. Give me something that's going to get me my brain occupied and not having to think about this problem I was working on, which I always call problems challenges, but most people will call them a problem. So you want to be able to do something, to bring something in that is going to create that brain to look in a different way, to look a different place. And the more you can do that, the more you're going to be able to capture and catch that prospect's attention. You want them to be able to do what you're trying to get them to do. You want to be able to handle whatever's there, whatever's going to be there. And you want to be able to know when you have got someone that is very uncomfortable. Take the time, be quiet, ask a question, and then wait for the prospect to answer. Or if it's not a prospect, maybe it's an employee or a coworker, and you're attempting to talk. You don't need to fill the air. You could ask your question and then sit there and smile. You don't have to put everything into everything. It is fine the way it is. So that is one of the most important pieces that you can do in speaking. I am noted for not saying the ahs, and I have Toastmasters to thank for that. Toastmasters International, it's an international speaking skills program. It is basically free. You will potentially get into a meeting. A lot of meetings will have, a lot of times meetings, Toastmasters meetings are held at restaurants, and you buy your dinner or lunch or breakfast, whatever the timing is, from the restaurant, and they let you use their banquet room. They let you use their extra room. So that is usually about the only cost. You can get the books and manuals, and my guess is now they're going to be all available in digital, so you can probably get them digitally and not have to pay much of anything. So it's a great place to learn how to speak. You start by learning how to say hello to someone and learning how to just interact. You start with, in the meetings, they'll start with, whatever their arrangement is in their setup. They will typically start with what they call table talk, which is each person is given a word or phrase and needs to tell everybody something about that word or phrase. On the spot, you just stand up and talk. 1 minute, just 1 minute, and you get a bell at the end of a minute, and you stop talking. But it gives you that, teaches you how to sporadically be able to converse with someone, even when it's a topic that you weren't thinking of before. Maybe you know about it when you hear it, but maybe you don't. And you may have to make something up. And it's okay to make things up for the table talks. But you don't want to keep going. The other thing that they do that I love, 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 they have an ah counter. An ah counter is going to count every verbal pause that you have. They will be counting all the ahs, the ums, you know, all of that. They're going to count. And every week or every meeting, somebody is a winner. And the person with the most ahs. Well, I learned how not to be the winner. I did not want to be saying the ahs and fill in the space. And so I learned how to just shut my mouth and smile and look at everyone. It's okay to just do that. So when you're presenting, know that you're loved by everybody. They're always going to be appreciative, unless they just, maybe if there is a major problem going on, they may not want to be there, they may not want to be talking to you, they may not want to be talking to anybody. So you just need to be able to understand and know what's happening, and then just accept what's going on. Because when you do, you're more likely to get that sale. The first one that talks usually is the buyer. They are going to buy whatever is being sold. And if you're the first one to talk, you're buying back your product or service every time. So I want you to think about that. I want you to do that. Come back tomorrow. We'll go through the other 4 secrets and just make sure that you have the best day. I'm adopting my friend Ron's talk. The best day you've never had. And I like that. So you just need to make it a good day. And remember, good for me is God with double stuff. So if nobody's told you yet today that they love you, let them be the first. I love you because you are you. And that is so very, very special. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for sharing all your AI love and experience. I will see you tomorrow. May the prophets always be with you.